Hello, welcome to Election Night 2020. This is the race for the White House between Kamala Harris, the senator from California, and Mr. Donald Trump, who is the incumbent president. Let's start off with the 7 p.m. poll closings, where we have 6 states up for grabs, and 2 of them, Virginia and Georgia, are swing states. Let's start off in the state of Vermont. The first projection of the night goes to Kamala Harris. She will take Vermont, and it's 3 electoral votes. Donald Trump will take Kentucky with its 8 electoral votes, and Indiana with its 11 electoral votes by decisive margins. He will also take the state of South Carolina, even though at this point in time Kamala Harris is leading. We only have 1 county reporting. This is a heavily Democratic county, but due to exit polls in the state and also previous presidential results, we can say with absolute certainty that Donald Trump will win South Carolina and its 9 electoral votes. Next is the state of Virginia, 13 electoral votes up for grabs. With 4% of the vote in, Kamala Harris has a small 1.8% lead over the president at this point. In Georgia, only a few people have voted, and it's coming from a heavily Republican county. Donald Trump winning at 97%. Expect this to change soon in the race for Georgia's 16 electoral votes. Taking a look at the race to 270, we have 3 electoral votes for Kamala Harris. We have 28 electoral votes for Donald Trump. In addition, you can see the popular vote for either side, and then at the top, the too close to call and how many electoral votes there is. And then, of course, in the middle, you have the map of the United States. So now it's time for our 7:30 p.m. poll closings coming from North Carolina and Ohio. But first, in West Virginia, even though it is a safe state, we can project Donald Trump will win in West Virginia by a decisive margin, 5 electoral votes. In the state of Ohio, we only have 2% of the vote in. Right now, Cleveland is coming in heavily for Kamala Harris. That's why she is in the lead at this point, but expect this to get very tight very quickly. 18 electoral votes. In the state of North Carolina, with 20% of the vote in, we can say that it's very, very close. It's a dead heat right now between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. 15 electoral votes at stake. Taking a look at the race for 270, Kamala Harris is stuck at 3 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 33. Now it's time for our 8 p.m. poll closings from the swing states of Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, Florida, and Maine, along with all the rest of the states. In the state of Missouri, we can project with 10% of the vote in that Donald Trump will carry that state with its 10 electoral votes. In Mississippi, the president will carry Mississippi with its 6 electoral votes, along with Alabama and its 9 electoral votes, Tennessee with its 11 electoral votes, and Oklahoma with its 7 electoral votes. And footnote about Oklahoma, even though we have none of the vote in and no exit polls were done in the state of Oklahoma, we can say due to previous presidential results with absolute certainty that the president will win in Oklahoma and its 7 electoral votes. In the state of Maine, we can say that its second district will go to the president. We're going to make a characterization of Maine at large and that first district in just a moment. In Illinois, 20 electoral votes will go to Kamala Harris. In Massachusetts, 11 electoral votes, and Rhode Island, 4 electoral votes. In Connecticut, 7 electoral votes. In New Jersey, Delaware with 14 and 3 electoral votes respectively. In Maryland with 10 electoral votes, and in the District of Columbia with 3 electoral votes. All these states will go to Kamala Harris. In the District of Columbia, again, none of the vote is reporting, but we can still say that Kamala Harris will win in DC. Oh, and we can now make a characterization in Maine. That first congressional district will go to the Democrats, along with Maine at large, and then that second district going to the President of the United States. In the state of Pennsylvania, this is a hotly contested race with 20 electoral votes, too close to call. In the state of New Hampshire, we can say with 4 electoral votes, my apologies there, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are also in a dead even. 18% of the vote is in. With 29 electoral votes in Florida, 91% of the vote is in. Kamala Harris is in a comfortable lead at this point. However, there are still a lot of Republican counties in the panhandle of Florida, and we expect these to go overwhelmingly for the president, so we'll have to see whether her lead is enough to sustain her through the 8 o'clock hour poll closings in Florida. Taking a look at the race to 270, we have 78 electoral votes for Kamala Harris, and we have 77 for the President of the United States. Again, you can see the popular vote on the screen right now. It's now time, it's 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Arkansas's polls have closed. We can project in Arkansas that the President will win Arkansas and its 6 electoral votes. And taking a look at the race to 270, that now puts the President over Kamala Harris with 83 electoral votes to Kamala Harris's 78. It's now time for the 9 o'clock p.m. hour poll closings from the swing states of Arizona, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota, along with all the rest of the states that you see right now. In Texas, we can project that the President will win. It's 38 electoral votes. Democrats had hoped after Beto O'Rourke got so close in Texas in 2018. Democrats have hoped, but no. It's going to the President at poll closing time at this hour. In Louisiana, the President will win. There are 9 electoral votes. In Kansas, the President wins. There's 6 electoral votes. In Nebraska, we can project all of their electoral votes, which includes the swing 2nd Congressional District, will now go to the President. In the state of North Dakota, South Dakota, and Wyoming, we can project that all 3 of those states, each with 3 electoral votes, will go to the President by overwhelming margins. Probably not by those margins, but we can still project that the President will win those 3 states. In the state of Colorado, with 9 electoral votes, a fifth of the voters reporting 53% for Kamala Harris, 46% for Donald Trump. This is kind of a swing state, not too much this cycle, but Kamala Harris wins in Colorado. She will also win in New York, a big prize for her 29 electoral votes, and the same thing goes in the state of New Mexico. 5 electoral votes will go to Kamala Harris. And we're now getting a call out of the state of Virginia. This is a swing state now going to the Democrat Kamala Harris. Things are looking positive for her so far in the swing states that have been reported. In the state of Arizona, 11 electoral votes, Kamala Harris with an early lead in Arizona. In Michigan, this is another hotly contested race. Kamala Harris must win this to win the presidency, or else she needs to carry Florida. But at this point in time, we can say that it's too close to call in Michigan, and it's 6 electoral votes. It's too close to call in Wisconsin, and it's 10 electoral votes. At this point in time, there is still a lot of votes still to come in from Milwaukee, so I expect this to change in favor of Kamala Harris. But in the state of Minnesota, none of the voters in, 10 electoral votes up for grabs. Again, Kamala Harris needs to win this if she wants to win the presidency. Taking a look at the electoral vote tally, we have 134 electoral votes for Kamala Harris, 149 for the President of the United States. It's now 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. We have a lot of calls from Iowa and Nevada, along with Montana and Utah. In Montana, we can now project that the President of the United States will carry the state of Montana with 3 electoral votes. We can also project that the President will carry 6 electoral votes in the state of Utah. We're now getting a call out of the state of Georgia, a swing state that will now go to the President of the United States. 16 electoral votes will now go to the President. And we're also getting a call out of the state of Ohio. We can project that in Ohio, the President of the United States will win in Ohio. 2 calls for a Georgia call and an Ohio call. The President is looking in better shape now, heading into the 11 p.m. hour, where Democrats will likely gain a lot of electoral votes. In the state of Iowa, 6 electoral votes. Kamala Harris behind Donald Trump by a significant margin. In Nevada, just 2% of the voting. We just only have rural Republican counties. We are still waiting for Clark County to come in, which is expected to come in heavily Democratic. But right now, the President up in Nevada, if we take a look at our 2020 electoral map, the race to 270, 134 electoral votes for Kamala Harris, 192 for the President of the United States. He's standing in better shape, and just for your reference, right now he's leading in Florida, he's leading in North Carolina, he's leading in Iowa. That I believe would be just enough, along with some other states in the Midwest, that he probably could carry to put him over the finish line. But at this hour, we have some 10:30 p.m. poll closings. We have 2 major calls in the state of North Carolina and the state of Florida. This could change the way the presidency is going to go. We have two major projections, starting off in North Carolina. With 98% of the vote in, we can project that the president will carry North Carolina with 49.8% of the vote. We can also say that the president will carry Florida with its 29 electoral votes. This is a big blow to the Harris campaign. They were hoping that Florida would go their way, but at this hour, Florida goes to the President of the United States. At this point in time, Kamala Harris only has 134 electoral votes and the President has 236. His electoral college lead may be insurmountable at this point. It's now time for the 11 p.m. poll closings from the states of Idaho, Washington, Oregon, California, and Hawaii. Starting off in Washington, we can now project that Kamala Harris will win in Washington with its 12 electoral votes. In California, she will easily win its 55 electoral votes. In Oregon, we have none of the vote in, but we can still project that Kamala Harris will win in Oregon and its 7 electoral votes. Also none of the vote in Hawaii, but we can still project that Kamala Harris will win Hawaii and its 4 electoral votes. We can now project that she will win the swing state of New Hampshire. She wins narrowly over the president with 100% of the vote in. We can project New Hampshire will go to Kamala Harris. We can also project Minnesota now going to Kamala Harris. This may not be such a bad night for her at this point. And in the state of Idaho, no surprise here, the president carrying its 4 electoral votes. At this point in time, the race to 270. Kamala Harris has made up a massive deficit. She is now almost at the President of the United States area, right? She has 226 electoral votes for Kamala Harris, 240 for the President of the United States. We have 2 major projections to announce right now. In Michigan, we can now project that Kamala Harris, she will win in Michigan with 98% of the vote in. We can project that Kamala Harris will win Michigan and its 16 electoral votes, but we can also project that the president will carry Arizona narrowly with its 11 electoral votes with 80% of the vote in. We can now say that there's 242 electoral votes for Kamala Harris, 251 for Donald Trump. Kamala Harris, originally, she just a few hour or so ago, she was down by a very solid 80 electoral votes. She is closing in on a big upset to the president at this point. The race to 270, 242 to 251. It's now 1 a.m. and we can now have a major projection. We can stand by for a massive projection. This is a massive projection. This is huge and this will decide the next president of the United States. We can now project that the president of the United States, he will be re-elected for a second term. Donald Trump wins re-election with at least 280 electoral votes. Kamala Harris with at least 242 electoral votes. There you see, with 89% of the United States counties have officially reported the presidency will go to Republicans in Donald Trump. Also an update, in the Senate, Republicans had a pretty bad map, but they held on to their competitive seats in the state of Montana. They held on in North Carolina, and those are 2 major states that definitely could have flipped, but Republicans, they held on in those 2 states. They also held on in the state of Arizona and the state of Iowa. So those 4 states Democrats had targeted for pickups in the Senate, they will go to the Republicans, and Donald Trump probably helped those Republican Senate candidates, especially in red states like Montana, where he won so overwhelmingly, and then the Republican Senate candidate there, Steve Daines, was able to win as well. But anyway, this is the presidency of the United States. We can project in Alaska, the president will carry their 3 electoral votes. Even though Kamala Harris is in the lead, we can still project that the president will carry Alaska. This is where it all came crashing down for Kamala Harris. Pennsylvania, goes to the President of the United States. 20 electoral votes with 99% of the vote in. We can project the President will carry Pennsylvania. In Iowa, we can also project the President will carry the state of Iowa with its 6 electoral votes. There you see the electoral map, the race to 270. 242 electoral votes for Kamala Harris, 280 for the President of the United States. Just a reminder, he has been re-elected President of the United States. It's now 1:15 a.m. We have 2 state calls from the states of Nevada and Wisconsin. In the state of Nevada, a bit of silver lining here for the Democrats. Kamala Harris wins. There's 6 electoral votes in Nevada. 7 she holds on in Nevada. In Wisconsin, with 98% of the vote in, we can also project the President will carry Wisconsin narrowly. With 10 electoral votes, we can project the President of the United States will win in Wisconsin. Taking a look at the final map, this is the final race to 270. We have 248 electoral votes for Kamala Harris. The President has 290 electoral votes. Thank you guys for watching this video, and please subscribe for more content like this, and I hope you are all having a fantastic day. Comment down your suggestions below, and also comment if you agree or disagree with my predictions. Just as a reminder, that is my final prediction. So that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Comment down suggestions below. Have a great day. Cheers. Fun election.